One of the most important skills that you need to have if you want to do well in algebra. So like if you know how to do this correctly, this will save you so many lost points on your tests, homeworks. Okay, you need to be able to be given a variable expression like this. Okay, or given any variable expression. And then on the side of that, you're given certain values for those variables, and they could be positive or negative values. And then you need to be able to properly substitute the given values for those variables and then simplify the expression. And really what makes this difficult for a lot of people at first is when there's minus signs included with the expression. So, if you have a minus sign here, when there's minus signs mixed in, or you've got maybe for this, you've got x plus 2y minus 3z. Right now we're going to have this, we're going to substitute this z, but z is negative. We've got a minus sign here as well. That's what trips people up. But if you can learn how to do this correctly and really fully understand this, this is going to be hugely helpful for you to succeed in algebra. Okay, so let's work some example problems where we demonstrate how to do this correctly. So, all right, for each problem, we want to evaluate each expression for the given values of the variables. So here's this expression. So what is this expression? If a is equal to -1 and b is equal to -6, then what is minus b over 2a? Okay, so the way you want to look at this is when you're substituting for a variable, it's like what you want to do. Okay, so minus b over 2a. You want to think about, so if we want to substitute for a is equal to -1. You come to a, okay, and kind of imagine a is in its own little world, like its own universe, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to erase a, and then because it's in its own universe, you're going to put this -1 here and then put a parentheses around it. A was in its own universe, okay? Now, but so is the -1 when you bring it in. Eventually, you're going to get good at this, and it's going to become intuitive enough to where a lot of times you're not going to even put the parentheses. But when you're just learning how to do this, it's immensely helpful if you, every time you substitute for a variable, replace the variable with the number in a parentheses. And after a while, once you do this enough, you'll get a sense for what's going on. But that's going to be very helpful in the beginning. So the b is equal to -6. Okay, erase the b, and then bring the -6 in. Replace the b with a full parentheses here, with the -6 inside of it. Now simplify. Okay, so minus 6, positive 6, 2 times -1, -2. So 6 divided by -2 is -3. Okay, again, over time, eventually you'll get good enough at this. It'll become so intuitive. There'll be circumstances where you won't put the parentheses. You'll just kind of see what it is, and you'll throw it in. You'll see, okay, well, look, it's -6, and you'll just put a positive 6 here. But in the beginning, this is how you should do it. You should remove the variable and replace it with the number, but put that entire number in parentheses, and then go from there. Okay, now let's evaluate this principal square root of b squared minus 4ac for when a is equal to 2, b is equal to -6, and c is equal to 4. Okay, so here we have a b squared. That's a little bit different. So this b or this variable has an operation applied to it. Well, you don't even worry about the operation. Like you still just come to the variable. Imagine the variable apart from any of the operations that's being done to it, and you just remove the variable and replace it with the given value and put it in parentheses. It's in its own universe. Like it's in a separate universe than even these operations around it. Then you come back in and say, okay, well this is the entire variable. This is the entire variable. This is b. Right? This is b. Well, what were we doing to this entire variable here? We were squaring it. Right? If you did this, if b is -6 and you did -6 squared. Well, here you're squaring 6 and you have a minus sign out front of all that. You're not squaring. That's different than you want to be. This is saying square b. You want to square all of this. You want to square all of this. This is b, right? Here you're just squaring this, and then there's a minus sign out front. You haven't substituted for b here correctly, right? That's why you really want to think about the variables in its own universe apart from everything else. And then you replace the variable in its entirety with the given number, and then bring back in the operations that were done on the variable. Okay, so now we've got minus 4ac. Okay, so minus 6 squared is 36. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 36 minus 32. Principal square root of 4 is 2. Okay, so the principal square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, where x1, x2, y1, y2 are given by these numbers here. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of brackets and parentheses here already. So it's kind of tempting to, well, I don't want to add any more parentheses, but when you're just learning this, you want to do this. You want to add the parentheses. So since we know we're going to be adding parentheses for these x2 and x1 and y2 and y1, let's put a bracket here. So, okay, x2 is going to be minus 1. Okay, x1 is going to be 2. And then all of that squared. Okay. Y2 is going to be 1. Y1 is going to be minus 4. All of that squared. And then the principal square root of all of this. Okay. So we've got here minus 1 minus 2 is minus 3. Okay. Here we've got 1 plus 4 is going to be 5. Okay. Minus 3 squared is 9. 5 squared is 25. 25 plus 9 is 36. Principal square root of 36 is 6. Okay. Let's evaluate y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 with these substitutions here for the variables. So y2 is minus 3.7. y1 is 3.1. Okay. x2 is 2. And x1 is minus 1.4. You see how this can get confusing with these minuses everywhere, but then you're substituting in minuses. You just like the x1 is in its own world, and you don't touch anything else in the entire expression, and you just erase the x1 and replace it with this entire substitution here. You don't worry about anything else in the entire expression. Then you simplify. So, okay, minus 3.7 minus 3.1 is going to be, let's see, that's going to be minus 6.8. Okay, then 2 plus 1.4 is going to be 3.4. And then 6.8 is 2, or minus 2. Okay. Let's evaluate 1/3 pi r squared h with these variables. So, okay, we've got 1/3, and we can actually put these in parentheses so we can clearly see the different multipliers here. So then pi, then replace the r, like we focus just on the variable here. Replace the r with a 7 in parentheses, and then we're squaring it. Now replace the h with a 6. All right, so 1/3 pi times 49 times 6. Okay, now 6 divided by 3 is 2. 49 times 2 is 98. So we've got 98 pi. Okay, so let's see. We've got 4/3 pi, and then just you focus in on the variable. Don't worry about the operations around it. Just focus in on the variable, erase the variable, and replace it with the parentheses in the number. So cubed. So 3 cubed is 27. Okay, 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4 is 36. There we go.